We have now covered what a variable is and what an algebraic expression is. And so we are going to move on to solving equations using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we start, and we need to ask ourselves, well, what is an equation? What could it possibly be? So an equation, it has the word EQA, which is the same as like equal. So it's going to have an equal sign with a number on one side, like here, the number's on the left, and an algebraic expression on the right. So here's an algebraic expression. Or it could have algebraic expressions on both sides, but right now we're just doing a one-step equation. So we are just going to have a number on one side, equal sign, and the algebraic expression. On this one, the algebraic expression's on the left, equal sign, and a number. So that is what an equation is. An equation has to have an equal sign, and you're going to be solving for the variable, which you already know is any letter that represents a number that you do not know. So now we go on, and we're going to talk about what an inverse operation. So in order to solve these, I know you can do it in your head, and you can say, well, what plus 1 equals 4? That's 3. That's so easy. But when you get into harder algebraic expressions, it's going to be harder and harder to do it that way. And so we need to know what our inverse operations are. So we start, and the first one I always think of when I think of an operation, I always think of addition. So when I think of addition, what is the inverse operation? What's the opposite of addition? Well, that's subtraction. So and to undo addition, you do subtraction. To undo subtraction, you do addition. The next one I always think of is multiplication. So what's the opposite, the inverse operation of multiplication? Well, that's division. So to undo multiplication, you divide, and to undo division, you multiply. And we'll go through that on how to do it. We'll go through a few examples in a minute after we're done with the notes. Okay, here are the steps to solve an equation. Ooh, it looks like there's a lot, but really there's not that many. It's pretty simple, okay? So first, you need to locate the variable. You have to find that letter. Where is the letter? Is it on the left side, like here, the second example, or is it on the right side, like here? So locate your variable first. So that's the first thing you need to do, locate the variable. Once you locate the variable, you're going to determine the operation tied to the variable. So if you look at the examples I had before, the operation is addition for the first one. And the operation for this one is subtraction. So figure out what is the operation that is tied to that variable. And then use the inverse operation on both sides. That's very important, the both sides. That's why it's bolded and in capital letters sides of the equation to solve. Okay? And then you check the solution. It's hard to remember to check the solution, but if you check it, you can make sure that you did it correctly. So now, we are going to go through 4 different examples: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start with this first one. So again, if you remember what I said before, you need to locate where the variable is. Well, the variable on this one's on the left side, okay? So there's my variable. It's on the left side. One thing I like to do, you do not have to do this, but it will help you out. So I'm going to have you guys kind of do it to start with. I like to draw a line right where that equal sign is to treat it like a wall. What I do to the left side of the line, I have to do to the right. So I look at this. Well, my variable is on the left side. I located the variable. Right down, now it's a subtraction sign. So I have to think, well, what's the opposite of subtraction? And it's addition. So I'm going to show that I'm going to add 3 here. I'm going to add 3 here. Again, it may seem very simple to do this, but it helps because later on, you're not going to have a one-step equation. You're going to have 2 or more operations you have to do. And by learning it this way, it's going to help you just to solidify what you're doing. So now, x minus 3 plus 3, if you remember back to the first lesson we did, minus 3 plus 3 becomes a 0. So it's gone. So I'm left with an x equals 4 plus 3 is 7, and that's it. That's all you have to do. So let's look at the next one. So let me draw my line at the equal sign because that always helps me out. I look at it, I have to find my variable. Well, my variable is over here. I need to look at the operation that it is attached to it, which is a plus sign. So then I have to think, well, how do I do addition? Well, undoing addition would be subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 6 here, subtract 6 here. Again, it may seem very tedious to do it, but it's going to help you out later on when you have harder equations. So now 6 minus 6 is 0. Ooh, the 6 is gone. So then I have k left on the left side equals 2. Because 8 minus 6 is 2, and that's it. There's our addition, subtraction. Now let's go to the other one, multiplication, division. Now, this one is hard to type out, so I had to do it like this. But basically, I'm going to rewrite it so it's an x divided by 3 like this, equaling 9. Now, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to draw my line to make my wall. I look at this and I try to find the variable. The variable's on the left side. I figure out what is happening. It's a division right now. Thinking about my inverse operation, the opposite of division is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply by 3 on this side. Again, I use parentheses for multiplication, sometimes a dot. This one, 3 divided by 3 is 1, so you're left with just a 1x equaling 27. 9 times 3 is 27, and that's it. There we go, we got that one. Okay, we have one more to do. Again, I'm going to go and I'm going to draw my little line, which is my wall. What I do to one side, I have to do the other. Once I'm done with that, I look at my variable and I say, okay, where's my variable? Well, it's on the left side. What is the operation that's happening right now? It's multiplication. Okay, what's the opposite of multiplication? It's division. So I'm going to divide by 6 to both sides. So if I do it on the left side, I have to do it on the right side. 6 divided by 6 is 1y, equaling 24 divided by 6 is 4. And you can also just write it as y equals 4, okay? Another way you could write this to solve it, and I'm just going to show you it really quick. So when I was taught to solve equations, I like to draw the wall. I was shown if it's division, you can just do a fraction bar like this. And you can still see 6 divided by 6 is 1, so it's y equals 4. You get the same answer. So a little bit different way to do it. And so we're going to, for the rest of the class, just go through examples of these. And that's it. So I hope that makes more sense on how to solve one-step equations. Again, you need to look for your inverse operation, and you just apply that to both sides for one step. And tomorrow we'll be getting into two-step. Have a great day. Bye.